Telefónica is renowned for being an innovator in the telecom sector, and I'm talking today with Enrique Blanco, the operator's CTIO, about key developments in the industry. So, Enrique, Telefónica has been battling against vendor lock-in and pushing for multi-vendor architectures since the start of the Unica strategy more than 7 years ago, and has even taken steps such as developing its own multi-vendor home gateway units to get the products it needs. What have you learned from this experience?
So we learned that open network and open architecture, it is not easy, but it is absolutely necessary. So you mentioned the customer premises equipment experience. So we built an extraordinary good quality of experience for our customer. And the key, it is trying to open the interoperability with the OLT, which is the central switch of the FTTH phone, and the ONT, which is in the customer premises, the network optical termination. So once we solve the interoperability, which is included in the interfaces, so we are doing a simplification of the logistic and the quality and the connectivity. This is just an example that opening capabilities and interconnecting vendors, it is helping us a lot. So the second one, it is Unica that you mentioned. So how we can guarantee that the traditional boxes, that they are including hard and soft specific. So doesn't matter which is the kind of platform. So it is not helping us trying to go faster and cheaper. So we have been evolving boxes to software pieces that can be hosted, doesn't matter which is the infrastructure that we are using, which is a general purpose capabilities. So interoperability, interconnectivity, open architecture, it is helping us trying to be faster, better, fully oriented to the customer and cheaper. So it is a must.
And is building multi-vendor networks more possible in 2021 than it was, say, in 2014?
Today, in the traditional platform that we are building, let me give an example, the IMS, which is managing all the voice over IP, the core pieces that we are building, the charging, the PCRF. So today, we can build all these functionalities as a pure software module that can be managed, and doesn't matter which is the cloud infrastructure that we are using. So it is true that you need to orchestrate it, but this 7 years ago, it was a dream and sometimes a nightmare, but we get it. Today, in all the platform that we are building, so we are working with this BNF concept, and this is helping us a lot, trying to simplify and to reduce finally the cost. And we are growing in simplicity and in flexibility. So in the past 5 years, we have been doing an extraordinary improvement. So let me joke. The first time we acquired one of these pieces, so the provider has not clarity how will be the way that we need to pay these software licenses as the traditional, as a mix. And today we have been improving not only the architecture in the technology, we have been improving in how we are building our relationship with the industry and with the providers. So we did an extraordinary improvement. But if we see what we did, and we see in the access and in the rest what we need to do, so we are just starting. So to be honest, we are just starting.
So industry bodies such as TIP and the O-RAN Alliance have been working on specifications and blueprints to promote disaggregated open architectures. Are these efforts making a difference to companies such as Telefónica?
The main effort that we have been doing, so in these two organizations, so TIP and Open RAN O-RAN, so have been the first step in this journey. It is how we can guarantee that the interfaces, they are common and open. So we need to work as a single industry. So because when you are building, when you have not clarity in all the requirements, in all the interfaces, in all the signalizations, so in a pure open paradigm, in open source capabilities, it's just impossible to build open architecture. So let me give one example. So for instance, in the video platform that we are managing, so if you are going through a black box, which is integrated by a single vendor, when all the pieces, they are fully embedded and enclosed, it is true that it is extremely simple for you because finally you are acquiring a turnkey. But turnkey, traditionally, it is equivalent to a huge amount of time evolving this kind of services and platforms. So, and the customer it is asking us agility, velocity, and quality. So we decide to break it. We decide to open these platforms, capturing all the new interfaces and capabilities for the video for our customers. So, and we design a global video platform with an extremely open architecture. So this is exactly the same that we are doing with the TIP and with the ORAN. But in this case, we are touching one of the much more sensible and sensitive areas. It is about the radio itself. If you see what means radio today, deployment, it is just very similar to a turnkey capabilities. So all the antennas, all the baseband, and all the tools, they are provided by a single vendor. So maybe you can share your region, your geography. And we are working trying to open this. This is because it is so relevant for the ORAN and TIP. Be sure that all the architecture, all the interfaces, all the requirements, first of all, they are done by a single industry. And second one, how we can guarantee that they are extremely close to a real open architecture capability. So these two organizations are key. With the GSMA are key, helping us trying to work like a single industry. If we don't do it, we will fail, no doubt.
So with all these developments in mind, where is Telefónica in terms of introducing open networking models into its networks, whether that's in the transport, fixed access, or radio access sectors?
What do we have today and what we are pushing? So in the BNF, which is the virtual network functions that they are fully supporting traditional platforms, so we are running. All that we are introducing within our networks, it is in a pure virtualized way. So we cannot understand. We say in 2014 that in the next 3 years, Telefónica will be just only acquiring BNF pieces for the platform, and we are. So we are in this journey. So what we are doing. So in the transport, so we are using all the capabilities in the disaggregation of the optics and IP. So and we are progressing extremely fast with all the industry. And I can say at this moment that the architecture that we define for the transport, the disaggregation with optical and IP, all the layers that they are managing, all the traffic, all the railways, all the optics, they are working extremely well. So we are in a pure fusion IP life. You can imagine that without this architecture, which is extremely important, this is not only interfaces and common technical, so it is architecture. With this architecture and with these technological pieces, year over year, all the big operators, we are multiplying by 2 the traffic that we are managing. This means that we have a factory that every year it is multiplying by 2 the production. So without this new architecture and with this fully virtualization that we are working, it will be just impossible to maintain flat the capex that we are doing, supporting traffic multiplied by 2. So this is an extremely relevant piece of the evolution of our network, because the technology is helping us with the disaggregation and the software layers and the physical layers being extremely much more efficient. So and guaranteeing the quality. So this means that in the BNF, in the platform itself, we have been doing a good job. So in the SDN, in the transport layer, we are doing an extraordinary good job in this approach of cloudification or virtualization. And the next step it is how we can build a new open radio access network when the baseband and the antennas they need to be disaggregated. And this is what we are building with Open RAN. And the open broadband, when the OLT itself it is going to be fully virtualized. So these are the 2 big pieces that we are now pushing and working. So, and later on I will mention when we are in this, but it is important. And how we can manage with the OSS, how we can migrate through the traditional boxes that they are maintaining and supporting the network pieces with this new puzzle of software pieces that will be creating the Open RAN approach. So these are the three main challenges that we have. Open radio access network in a pure virtualized approach, how we can virtualize the baseband. Second one, how we can do it with the OLT. And third one, how the OSS with the new operating model that we are building will be helping us to be extremely much more efficient and will be extremely much more fast in the deployment that we are today.
So how big a part might Open RAN play in Telefonica's 5G plans in, say, the next 5 years?
So this is an extraordinary, very good question. So 5G finally will be synonymous of Open RAN. So what we are doing today, so as you know, all the big operators, they have been doing the first approach of the 5G using the non-standalone capabilities and the DSS capabilities. We are working, trying to do it. So we are competing with all our colleagues and the rest of operators. We have been working in the past 3 years, so building an credible Open RAN program. So when we are today, we have the solution that we are testing in our labs and that we have been testing the 4G in Brazil and in any other operation with the TIP capabilities. So we will be testing in the next quarter, so a real solution with companies as Altios or with companies as Supermicro. So we are building a real Open RAN capabilities. We will be testing in Germany, and if it is a robust solution, it is working, we will be deploying in the 2022 in the second quarter of the next year as a real new technology that will be an alternative to the traditional vendor. So we are working, trying to be sure that in 2022 we can start deploying thousands of base stations. So 1,000 may be a very good approach. And if we have not any issue that we cannot solve, that my point is that we are extremely close to get the final solution. Telefónica will be deploying Open RAN as a new vendor ecosystem, and in the period of 2022 to 2025, so up to the 50% of the total 5G deployment capabilities will be done using this technology at least. This means that it is a new technology that will be helping us to be much more faster. And finally, I'm fully convinced that following the experience that we have with the VNF will be helping us trying to be much more efficient. But today we are working with a traditional vendor. We are working with one solution, but we are being extremely active trying to work and identify any other software pieces. So for this technology, and this is what we are working and that's what we are doing. And it is inclusive. We are working with Ericsson, we are working with Nokia in this new paradigm. So we have some meeting with Nokia and we are extremely advanced. So this is not breaking the traditional, but we try to put in this effort to the traditional radio providers. So, and we are not alone. We are in the ORAN, we are in the TIP organization, but we are working with the big one in Europe. We are working with Deutsche Telekom, with Vodafone, with Orange, and Telefónica. So building common options. This is because we signed an MOU, and we are working with any other telecom provider that they are extremely interested trying to be part of this. So this is an industry operation. This is not a Telefónica operation, and we are not looking to be differential in this. We are pushing the industry to be in this project as a real project, helping us trying to reduce the complexity and open the simplicity. So this is what we are doing. These are the timing that we are managing, and these are the countries that we are pushing.
So you mentioned the MOU with the other major operators in Europe there. Why is this action necessary? Why is this collaboration necessary? And how can it help to expand an Open RAN ecosystem in Europe?
So first of all, for volume. So it is, we will be starting with 1,000 of base stations, 1,000. But if we are starting with 10,000, it will be easier to put to the industry to work together with us. First of all, the volume is clear. Second one, the complexity. So it will be easier if we put together. So the solution with all the different scenarios that we manage as an industry, especially in Europe, for complexity. Third one, for the OSS complexity. So today, when we are building network, right, so we have a system integrator who it is the vendor itself. So for the initial steps, we will be needing working with a new system integrator that will be helping us trying to put together all the software pieces in the baseband that is extremely virtualized. So and not only this solution, so even how we will be managing and orchestrating this. So we need to open this to any other capabilities. So how will be the system integrator? How we can be building this kind of skills in the industry? So working together, it is easier. So testing labs, testing in a single site, so all different interfaces and signalization. So if we work together as an industry, so we grow in possibilities to go faster, because Open RAN, it is going to happen yes or yes. So as we saw with the BNF and with the SDN, the velocity when we can start to deploy, it is key. If we go together, I have not any doubt that we will grow in volume and the solution will be coming fast in 2022. If we don't do nothing and we wait, maybe this is something that will be around 2023, 2025. And we cannot wait. We need to be extremely efficient. So the monetization of the 5G itself, it is not still clear. And we need to guarantee that we can deploy 5G fast and we can be extremely efficient. So it is a mix of simplicity, efficiency, and velocity. So, and this is because I think that we need to be working together and we try to escape at the Open RAN as a competitive issue. It needs to be something exactly in the opposite. It is something that needs to be helping us to work together as a single industry that in fact it is what we are.
So this is all really important in terms of the development of a new ecosystem. Is there anything more that the operators could be doing themselves to help stimulate the market and help new innovative companies come into the Open RAN sector?
If you see what's happening in the industry, so the radio access network itself, it is a closed environment. So it is just 2-3 vendors. Maybe you can be looking for other 2 additional. It is about Nokia, Ericsson, Samsung, Huawei, ZTE, and that's all. So, and we have been looking how this has been reduced in the timing. So, and what we are pushing it is how we can open this to any other vendor. So, how we can give the opportunity to companies as Altiostar, as Mavenir, as NEC, system integrator that they are working extremely hard, Tech Mahindra, Red Hat, or IBM. So how we can build a new ecosystem that will be helping us trying to evolve the traditional paradigm of the radio as we know today. It is an antenna, the different radio active antennas, baseband, who it is hosted close to the tower and to the roof, and backhauling and core. So how we can get these pieces that we have today in the baseband close to the roof, to the rooftop or to the tower, and going through a pure cloud concept, helping us, first of all, to optimize. So, because if you are managing a significant number of active antennas from a single point, it is easier to optimize. How we can open the software pieces to a pure open access capabilities. So how we can reduce the complexity that we have today. So this is what we are doing today. And fortunately, so we have solutions. We are testing solutions, but we are testing solutions with the 4G and 5G with a pure multi-band approach. So, and we are pushing, trying to get the opportunity to build an overlay capabilities in 5G standalone. This is because it is so extremely relevant. First of all, architecture, common architecture, comprehensive architecture. Second one, common interfaces, common requirements, and later on a new suites of providers that will be helping us building pieces for this new architecture. And system integrators that will be helping us trying to do this as a single project, and all the OSS capabilities that we are building, because the OSS, right, and it is very important, the OSS that we are managing today doesn't work for the Open RAN approach. The new OSS paradigm, it is all these cloud pieces, they are providing data, and you need to be getting this data, and with some tools, AI and machine learning capabilities, you are building a new automation and self-maintenance and self-operation and self-provisioning. And this OSS we are creating. So we are working close to Rakuten because they were the first one building this kind of OSS. The complexity of the multiband with 4G and 5G that we are imagining, it is an additional issue to solve. But this OSS paradigm, it will be pushing the AI in our network engineers and our IT engineers. And this is an additional challenge that we have, that we are working. So believe me, it is amazing. So if you think what we are doing, we are breaking the traditional way of work. This is not the evolution of 4G to 5G with the latency and so on. We are changing and evolving radically the architecture, the interfaces, the way that we are deploying the network, and how we are managing this. This is more than a single and simple evolution, the 4G to 5G. It is, we are breaking, we are disrupting, so, and we are building, and we are extremely close to do this a real fact. So it's, believe me, it is amazing. So we are extremely happy to be part of this, not in Telefónica, for sure, as an industry. And this is because it is so relevant, be working together.
Well, it certainly feels like that we're at the start of a new era and the development of a new ecosystem in the telecom sector. So, Enrique, thanks for joining us today and giving us an update on what's going on with Telefónica and with the broader industry in general. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rai. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure.